absolutely love this movie. I'm a huge fan of dark comedies. Love the premise. So I just wanted to ask you what your first reaction was when you heard about the plot.
Well, I was 3 months postpartum. And so even though that was an insane reaction, I think for me to be like, yeah, let's go to the jungles of Mexico and pump milk and send it through the jungle to my daughter between setups. It was just relevant to what I was going through, I think, not so much that I was grappling with having a baby because I'd had her, but just the kind of comedic R-rated sides of motherhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you did film on location. So was how was that experience getting to go out there to Mexico to film this movie?
It was interesting. It was during COVID. There had been a lot of isolation before that. And especially when I was pregnant, the vaccines weren't out and people didn't know yet much about what was going on. So my husband and baby and I had just been like very insular. So to fly out to Mexico and be around these really talented, funny people, that part was awesome. Um, and kind of just experiencing the world again in this little, safe area. On the other hand, it was really crazy. Um, the living areas were outdoors, so I'd get up in the middle of the night to, back from filming, like sneaking into my daughter's room and a massive raccoon, like 4 times the size of the raccoons here, would just like walk by. And then when we left, I heard there were jaguars too, and I was like, I'm really glad that I didn't know that before. So the whole thing was a really wild trip.
Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, sounds like it. Well, how was it getting into the headspace of someone who has accidentally done, this mortifying thing that you can't undo? And on top of that, you're at a destination wedding, so it's not like you can just flee. Like she's stuck
Right.
there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the making of the film ended up being very, very meta in the sense of like we all got very, very sick and we're like, I guess we're back on set again. Um, but in terms of the story, yeah, I mean, it resonates. And I think in a metaphor too, of just being like, when you're going through something, you're going through it, you're stuck in it mentally, you can't get out of it. And then to make that a physical kind of restriction in the movie where you can't leave and you're kind of stuck with all these people that you love and can't stand. I mean, what's more relatable, especially with the holidays right behind us?
Well, you did Pen 15, so this wasn't your first cringe comedy. But I am curious, which of these projects have more of a cringe effect on you when you're trying to stay in character?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, cringe, I kind of both don't really make me cringe though, because I just have a dark sense of humor probably. But the dropping the baby moment was very hard when it came down to it. No pun intended. Um, I, yeah, I just was struggling in the moment to be present and to react in a way that felt authentic. And it was really emotional. I think partially because I had just had SC, and I'm sure, for most moms, there can be a feeling of, am I doing this right? Am I raising my child? And, in ways that I didn't expect. I thought I'd be a chill mom and kind of be easy on myself and know that nothing's perfect. But that was a real struggle that I was going through and that I continue to go through. So, um, which is what I love about the movie, because it's dealing with stuff that I think we're like not supposed to think is funny or appropriate to talk about, and it's doing it in your face. But I think, yeah, the dropping moment ended up like bringing up my own fears of, messing up or being inadequate or in a way that I found really hard. But fortunately, we have a great ensemble and everyone did amazing. It's a startling moment, definitely. I think in the film it works really well.
Yeah, well, and like you were saying, dark comedy is something that kind of takes not funny things, but paints them in like a sillier light. But I thought that
Mm-hmm.
your relationship on screen was a good example of that because you were dealing with
Mm-hmm.
some really serious issues. Was there anything that you both really wanted to bring out in that?
I think there was a hard balance of kind of playing because Lex is more selfish than Manny, and that's an important kind of trajectory of their story. Um, and so I think just balancing their love at the same time and not feeling when you're watching them that like these people clearly shouldn't be together. You have to want to root for their relationship. And so, the great thing is that Jermaine is like the most lovable, talented person. Um, so he made it easy. But yeah, I think we were just working on our characters being in love through the difficult times.
Awesome. All right. Well, that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I really love the film.